GOLD participants from around the world. I'm Fiona Lang-Sharp, IBCLC Public Relations Manager and MC for GOLD Learning. I am chatting today with Carrie Sue Halsey. Welcome, Carrie Sue. It's great to have you here again.
It's great to be here.
And absolutely delighted that you'll be speaking at our GOLD Perinatal Online Conference coming up here starting on October 11th. And Carrie Sue is going to be addressing Category 2 Electronic Fetal Monitoring Strip Management. Well, what a great subject you've chosen this year for the conference, Carrie Sue. I'm delighted that you're going to be addressing this.
I'm happy to address it, and I'm just excited to be back at Gold Perinatal this year.
That's awesome. Well, why don't we take a moment to just get you to introduce yourself again? Maybe we have some new attendees coming in this year, and then of course others that know you, they can listen in. So introduce yourself and just tell us why you really wanted to talk on this subject matter this year.
Sure. So I work at Texas Children's Hospital in Houston, Texas, and I'm a labor and delivery manager there, which I love. One of my responsibilities as a manager is to help nurses interpret strips, and I have my eyes on strips all day long, up to like 17, 20 strips at a time. And so this is something I deal with every day. Um, I've worked in different areas of the country, and we have some standardization in the fetal heart monitoring strips, the management and the interpretation. But depending on where you're from and how much education the hospital's invested in their nurses, there is some disparity, and there's definitely disparities between how nurses are taught through different organizations and what the obstetricians and the medical residents are taught. And so there are some disagreements. And so that is why I wanted to highlight 3 actual case studies and like just go through and see what the interpretation is and what was actually done and what could have been done different.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. And it's very interesting when you have something that is taught over and over again, but yet there's still a lot of discrepancies in teaching, or, there are different ways to teach and those types of things. Is something that, realistically is quite linear. But I'm so glad that you have, you're addressing that, because I think it gives people an opportunity for something that perhaps, they got educated on once, that, maybe they don't go back and look at it again. But, this is something that I guess, it should be looked at on a continuum of care and looked at regularly. So it's pretty exciting that, you've jumped in there and said, hey, hold up a second. Let's go back and, look at this again, because it really is worth, a second look, third look. And of course, the outcomes I'm sure that you're going to be sharing with us will of course teach us that as well. So that's pretty exciting to me. I love when I hear people sort of stepping out of the box, just to say, hey, wait up a minute, let's take another look at this. So that's pretty exciting, Carrie Sue.
I'm excited about it.
Absolutely. So can you tell me, so kind of digressing and looking at this, the fetal monitor strip management, perhaps you want to address, well, you could address a couple of things, I guess, here, Carrie Sue, but perhaps you want to look at first, tell me sort of what of the changes have you seen? Are you getting people on board with taking a second look at this, or really looking at more of a consistency of management in this? Has it changed much over the last few years? I want to know so maybe some of the barriers that you faced, or is everyone just happy to have you take a second look at it?
Well, I think repetition is always good, and nurses are encouraged to take a lot of continuing education. And that's another reason I wanted to bring this specific topic back to Gold Perinatal, because we need practice. Um, but there has been some changes, especially since 2008 when we went to the category system.
Right.
And the category system is really helpful in some ways because we know that we really don't have to worry about category 1, and we really do need to worry about category 3, but then everything else in the middle is just very vague.
Right.
And there's been a lot of more hospitals introducing the cord blood testing for pH, and they do that for liability and
Right.
also to see how well the the baby was managed, like the labor was managed retrospectively. And
Right.
so with that addition, we really need to look at what interventions we're doing at what point, and it's not okay all the time just to be like, oh, well, it's category two, let's just keep going. So really like thinking about what we're seeing in that category two and what is reassuring and what's not.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is great to hear that those steps, are being taken as well. But I'm so glad that, you've had an opportunity definitely to, really delve deeper into this matter and sort of and look at those case studies. So, lastly, Carrie Sue, before I let you go today, perhaps you want to share with our listening audience today, what are you most excited or what are you hoping that they will take away from this presentation?
Well, I always think it's fun. I teach fetal monitoring, and I love the case study format. And when it's interactive and nurses get a chance to view a strip and interpret it to themselves and then compare what they would feel like they were going to do with
Right.
the interventions and then and see the outcomes. I think looking at a 10-minute strip in an abstract isn't very helpful. So you can get the mechanics of it and but you can't see like, okay, well, this strip looks pretty awful, but there are some reassuring qualities. Well, what did the baby look like at birth? And so that is what I'm most excited about because I really do like the case study aspect.
Well, that sounds fantastic to me. I can see that being more interactive, rather than just reading those abstracts, obviously makes a big difference, and seeing what the outcomes are as well, or what happened in those scenarios makes for definitely better learning overall. So I know that our listening audience, I'm sure that they're excited to see more and hear more from you, as are we here at Gold. So thank you again, Carrie Sue, for sitting down with us here today. And for our listening audience, just as a reminder, October 11th is the kickoff of our GOLD Perinatal Online Conference. Carrie Sue Halsey will be speaking there, and she will be addressing Category 2 electronic fetal monitoring and strip management. Thank you so much, Carrie Sue, for being with us here today.
Thank you so much, Fiona.
And thank you again to our listening audience. That's all for now. Bye bye.